Spurs for the Championship. Incentive enough for Coventry to repeat their FA Cup final victory and beat Spurs 2-1.
The roar that greeted Coventry City forgave them their pre-season failures. Glorious sunshine, it all augured well. With due diplomacy, the FA Cup stayed locked in the trophy room. Anyone but Tottenham, and odds are the silverware would have done the rounds. It's a day when much is expected of newcomers. Optimism and hope springs eternal. And at £780,000, you're entitled to expect a lot from David Speedie. Richard Gough was the unlikely man first to show. It had a Grizovic scrambling on the turf. That was nothing compared with the ping-pong in Tottenham's goalmouth. Pickering, Speedie and finally Cyril Regis all kicked fresh air. It's often harder than it looks. But to prove us all wrong, Coventry combined in the most delightful way. McGrath made the break, Michael Ginn took up the running. Speedie proved that still some way from fitness, he's a superb finisher. No disguising Speedie's delight, nor the fans. It was the perfect start. Defenders always fancy themselves as goal scorers. Brian Kilcline thundered in a free kick. Ray Clemens showed that at nearly 40, he's still one of the best. Nick Pickering was next to pepper the Tottenham goal, a superbly instinctive save by Clemens from Bennett's cross. Coventry seemed destined never to score again, and quite how this one escaped, we'll never know. So, as you'd expect when the second goal came, no disrespect to Greg Downs, but it did take a lucky deflection off Fairclough, a shot more in hope than expectation. If Tottenham were to salvage anything, they needed to get something together in midfield, and Johnny Method's introduction was no surprise. It didn't take long before his influence worked, and Gary Mabbott did a Downs, scoring with a deflection. In two perfect weather conditions, even for a season's opening day, Coventry could only feel delighted. 3 points, a display that had taken Tottenham apart, and every sign that the one-season wonder tag couldn't be further from the truth.
From Reading, another prolific marksman in the lower divisions, is being given his chance to show his talent at this level. Senior has taken over from Mark Falco. 23-year-old Tony Agana from non-league Weymouth has been given the awesome task of following John Barnes. As for Hill, he operates from midfield, so his inclusion means Kenny Jackett switching to left-back in place of Wilf Rostron. Chris Fairclough, one of Tottenham's acquisitions from Nottingham Forest, is bedding into the centre of a defence which has Gary Mabbott at right back. But the other, Johnny Method, the designated replacement for Glenn Hoddle, is left on the substitutes bench. David Pleat departs from his usual five-man midfield to include two forwards. Nico Klaassen, so often a substitute and patently frustrated, gets his reward for coming on and scoring the winner against Chelsea last Saturday, while Clive Allen's 49 goals last season guarantee his place. Both in the small abrasive mould. Ardiles offside. A timely charge out by Watford. Down there. Speed it up is what Alan Gillette is saying. Rostron. It's the same too. Dennis Hedges might feel another talking to is appropriate. It was what the players refer to as handbag stuff. That came off Fairclough. Bardsley. Was McClellan's long throw that caused the alarm for Tottenham. The clearest push of the afternoon by Porter on Ardiles. Going into the last 10 minutes, Tottenham with a measure of control. Paul Allen was caught a bit flat-footed there by Ardiles' free kick. Fairclough pressed into conceding the throw. The message from the bench is speed it up to Watford, but the slowing it down at the moment is to wait for the arrival of McClelland to try and hurl the ball in. Comes towards Morris. It's a corner off Mabbutt. McClelland and Morris busy at the near post, and Clements unchallenged. Waddle always alert for the throw out from the goalkeeper, and it was to Roston's credit that he was aware that there was some need for defending then. Watford had a lot of players forward. Blissett. Through so many battles, the only player at the club still here from the 4th Division days. Had a year away in Italy, of course, during that time. And Morris and McClelland, the big men from the back, are there again. Powered away by Richard Gough. Viles sensing the point of danger. Doing likewise. It's well won by Rostron. Roberts. Top scorer in the reserve team last season, Ewan Roberts. Home and dry yet. Roberts. It's another Watford corner. Without really creating a great deal. Dave Bassett's side trying their utmost to mount a finish and rescue something here. Area, Tottenham pushing out. Porter, there was no room for a pass then. Hodge saw to that. And with Watford committed to an all-out late assault, room for Waddle. 2 to his right. Waddle might need some help. It's noticeable in the last year or so how Chris Waddle has emerged not just as an effective player for Tottenham and England, but as a much more outward-going person, which certainly helps his football. Taking on responsibility on the field. Thoroughly charming young man. Roberts. For Agana. Paul Allen with the type of midfield defending that often goes unappreciated on the terraces, maybe, never by the manager. With Tottenham's recent away record at the start of this season and at the back end of last season, it would be a little bit dangerous for them to rest on their laurels. The safest way to be sure of making off with the spoils from Vicarage Road would be to beat Tony Coton for a second time. They've got 5 minutes to do that. 5 minutes, alternatively, to hang on to their lead. Throw given to Watford, to Claessen's disbelief. Jacket. Well, apart from the first half chances for Blissett and Bardsley, they've not made much from free play. Watford, and McClellan bearing the throw this time, to no avail. Coton wasting no time with the clearance. And time is the enemy now for Watford. Blissett, mistake by Fairclough. Well, at the other end, Coton, who had dispatched the ball from his hands so rapidly, in keeping with the urgent need of Watford's position, was particularly disappointed that Blissett rather snatched at the shot. Blissett again. Agana and Porter! Tottenham look in disbelief. Coton can celebrate this time. And little Gary Porter found himself in just the right place as Agana helped it into the middle and Clement was left helpless. There are 3 minutes remaining. Have Dave Bassett's Watford salvage something here? David Pleat, on the other hand, must be desolate. A rare away victory was beckoning, and Watford might not be finished yet. But nor are Tottenham, it seems. Here's Claessen. Ardiles. Claessen's offside. And there are some Tottenham players hanging their heads. So who'd be a manager? The sides played much of the good football on view. They're leading 1-0 with 3 minutes to go. Then that happens. Hodge was blocked, but it wasn't intentional from Rostron. In all honesty, it would be piracy if Watford made away with a victory. But they still have time. It's Roberts. In goes Morris. Out comes Clements. Gibbs. In from Bardsley, Agana there again, Roberts, off a little uncertain, Porter. Roberts winning another useful header. Agana's cross. And that was handball by Porter before it reached Blissett. was a lively first half that produced no goals. Quite a disappointing start to the second half, but then a real flurry in the latter stages. And in the end, a draw perhaps not too surprising, with both clubs undergoing major changes in the close season. But Tottenham will feel they certainly should have won it, allowing Gary Porter to equalise for Watford 3 minutes from time, after Clive Allen had wrapped in a 69th minute penalty after some delightful build-up, which saw Steve Hodge felled by John McClelland. Watford still settling to life under the Dave Bassett regime.
And we're away. McAvenny, beaten there by Stevens. Paris, that's a good ball. Cotty's chasing it. He's got goal side of Bearclough. Good ball to Paris. Paris is cross. The first time one. Can McAvenny get it? Oh, what a header from Ward. That was a magnificent save. A fantastic save by Ray Clements, but I really don't think he knew much about it. Paul Allen, former West Ham player. Nice ball from him out to Hodge. Hodge's cross. Oh, and there's a header, and there's a great save from McAllister. It's not cleared yet. It's bouncing around. McAllister gets a punch. The whistle's gone. Headed away by Martin. Picked up by Ardiles. Back to Moran. There's the header from Stevens and a good save from McAllister. There's a shot. Saved brilliantly. Good shot that from Clive Allen. Ward. Cleared there by Paul Allen. Brady to Cotty. He's picked that up well. There's a shot from Brady. Oh! Inches past the post. Clements got down. It's squeezed under his body. A corner to West Ham. Moran's cross. McAvenny's header, and once again it's Ardiles who picks it up. Moran. Oh, fine shot, what a goal from Fairclough! 38th minute, and that ball was drilled across, and Thomas just let fly with a right foot volley, which gave McAllister no chance. Well, that was a really well-taken goal. Strodder clatters Clive Allen. I think the referee thought Clive Allen was going to have a go at him. Paris to Brady. Ince tries a shot. Oh, that had Clements sprawling. 25-yard shot from Paul Ince.
Well, their 1-0 win confounded the critics, who'd said Torquay didn't stand a chance. Well, today tickets went on sale for the return leg at White Hart Lane in a fortnight, and a short time ago they were said to be selling well.
It was the sort of contest only the Cup can provide. Little Torquay United, who so nearly were dumped out of the league altogether last season against one of the finest football teams in the country. £10 million worth of talent in the Spurs side, and virtually every player an international. 5,000 fans, Torquay's biggest attendance in years, were there to see if United could repeat their success of 22 years ago, when they took Spurs to a replay after 2 late goals. Last night, the man who scored those goals, Robin Stubbs, turned out again, this time to present the match ball before sitting back to watch Spurs take the game to Torquay early on, with some fine breaks. This from Chris Waddle. 3 minutes later, the visitors came close again. Dutchman Johnny Method unlucky here. But Torquay settled as the match progressed, and as they began to put their game together, started to look dangerous. On the half-hour, Glyn Riley's header had the Spurs defence in all sorts of trouble. But should Torquay have been awarded a penalty? Appeals for handball as it was scrambled away. But no, said the referee. Just before half-time, leading goalscorer Paul Dobson was unlucky not to pick up on the end of this back pass. Torquay should really have been in the lead by half-time, but they had keeper Kenny Allen to thank for keeping them in the match in the second half with a string of fine saves, the first from Chris Waddle. From a corner on the right, another close-range effort, this time from David Howells, well saved again by Allen. United, though, as they had in the first half, forced their way back. The goal, many fans will remember for years to come, was scored 4 minutes from time. Gardner's cross, Thomas fails to clear, and it comes to Derek Dawkins, 1-0. The police had to be called in to clear the pitch at the end, but it was all good-natured. The fairy tale victory was Torquay's, together with the back page headlines.
At the end of the day, it was just the icing on the cake for us. I mean, us winning 1-0, I mean, we're going up there, but we don't expect to win it like. But the thing is, we've done this down here, and it's probably the biggest thing what's ever happened to the club.
Torquay did excellently. They battled all the way, and probably in the end they might have deserved something for their efforts, which they got. It set up for us an excellent second game. I thought in the second half we were gradually taking over and making chances, but we couldn't stick it away in the net. And then the romance of the cup, they get one in the last minute.
What are you going to be telling your players for the next game?
Oh, well, we're going to have to play better than that.
What do you reckon to going to White Hart Lane then?
It'll be Tottenham 0, Torquay 2. Dawkins and one other.
Optimism there. Well, Torquay travel to White Hart Lane in a fortnight's time. Their West Country rivals, Plymouth Argyle, have a tough...
It could well be a little touch. Is going to give Chivers the chance of a shot. Knowles, in fact. Beauty! Oh, beauty!
Cyril Knowles against Manchester United almost exactly 14 years ago. The kind of goal from Knowles that inspired the phrase and ultimately the song, "Nice one, Cyril." An enthusiastic reception for Cyril Knowles tonight, looking slightly different these days, but looking forward to the prospect of a big night for Torquay. Spurs against Torquay, John Watson, the commentator.
Well, the evening is certainly not a very nice one on which to welcome back Cyril Knowles. He's now 43, and if the hair is a shade of grey, the personality is still as colourful as the Spurs fans remember him. He's rightly proud of what he's achieved at Torquay in just a few short months. And if tonight's rain-swept conditions have kept down the crowd here, they won't spoil a very special occasion for this Torquay team. It shows one change from the first leg. Glyn Riley was injured in Saturday's victory at Exeter, so the number 9 shirt goes to Mark Gardner, whose cross as a substitute led to that goal by number 7 Derek Dawkins in the first leg. And Torquay's defensive system means that number 8 Phil Lloyd plays as an extra central defender. Spurs, meantime, are without Chris Waddle and Clive Allen, both injured, so 21-year-old Sean Close partners Nico Klassen up front. With Johnny Metcalfe also hurt, the 2 substitutes are both 19-year-olds, and the youngest of this new sprightly Spurs crop is in the starting lineup at number 4, 18-year-old Vinnie Samways, who made such a promising home debut against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Referee is Brian Stevens from Stonehouse in Gloucestershire. Torquay United in yellow shirts and white shorts, 4th in the 4th division, a goal up at the start of this second leg. Gary Stevens for Tottenham. Number 11 there is Dobson, and number 10 Loram for Torquay, 2 of the strikers. And here's Gardner, left-footed player, wearing number 9. In by Kelly, and an offside flag there. Samways will take the left side in midfield. This is Ardiles. And there are 1 or 2 puddles on the pitch, so back passes will have to be weighted correctly. Good long kick by Ray Clements. Klassen was there. So too is Allen. Close in the centre, so is Hodge. And Allen almost in again. Ardiles, Gary Stevens, Samways, Mitchell Thomas. In low chance, oh, and in, yes! John Impey couldn't keep it out. Nico Klassen claiming some credit. Klassen following it in, but the Torquay United defender, John Impey, trying to keep it out, could only help the ball into the net. The low cross here by Mitchell Thomas. Over it comes now then. Well, I would say that looks like an own goal by Impey, but Klassen may claim he got a touch. What it proves is that Spurs are level on aggregate, 1-1. Here's Klassen. And Torquay's dreams certainly starting to disappear. Here's Impey, now Allen. Oh, and Samways. Now, can he play the right ball? There are two waiting. Klassen close. Hodges also there now. Klassen! No! Well, that was a chance for Nico Klassen. And a swift break by Vinnie Samways. He found the space on the left-hand side, played the right ball in low to the near post, and Klassen, who's scored many from there in the past, just flicked it wide on this occasion. Sliding tackle by Gary Stevens, which seems to have caused a little ill feeling. Referee wanting a word with Tom Kelly, the Torquay United left-back, who felt that Hasselgrave was sorely treated there. Indeed, the free kick has gone to Torquay, and John Impey has made his way forward on the far side. Might just be the extra man they need in the box there. Cole is up as well. And Cole flicks on, and Dobson! Clement save with his legs, but that was a real let-off for Tottenham, and a clear indication why Paul Dobson is the talk of the 4th Division just now. He is so dangerous round the 6-yard box. He may feel there he could have finished better, because Cole, the centre-half, flicked that on perfectly, but Dobson's instinct took him there. Ray Clements saved with his shins. Now, had that gone in, it could have been a very different picture. John Impey, 33 years old, the club captain. Samways, close, made room nicely there. Oh! Hit the post. Sean Close. What a good strike. Spurs have lost their wages at present, and Torquay may be finding theirs. This is Tom Kelly, and Loram away from Mabbott. Good effort, and well held. It's a slippery ball, and that was a snapshot by Mark Loram, and the sheer experience of Ray Clements ensuring that there was no slip there, because had there been a rebound from Loram's shot, then his partner Dobson might well have been in. Here's Gardner. And Tottenham's central defenders have certainly got to be alert, because Loram and Dobson are causing them some concern. This is Ardiles at the other end. Well played, close. Oh, own goal this time without a doubt. It's David Cole. It's David Cole. How unlucky can you be? Ardiles, lovely build-up actually. Sean Close drives the ball across and Cole puts the ball in his own net. With 10 minutes to go to half-time, that's the last thing they needed. And the cross came from Sean Close, but there's no way he'll get anywhere near claiming that one. That was the classic own goal, the diving header by David Cole. Oh, well played by Mitchell Thomas. And well collected by Kenny Allen. Gary Stevens held back by Tom Kelly. A word there from referee Brian Stevens, although there hasn't been any bad behaviour in this first half. It's going to be a free kick to Tottenham, and Gary Mabbott goes forward to lend height to what's a very short Tottenham attack these days, in the way of inches. And that wouldn't find anybody, whether they're tall or not. Here's Stevens. Allen. Oh, good running by, who else but Ozzy Ardiles. Close has come short. There he is. Oh, good save by Allen. Here's Hodge. Corner, it already went out. That was a very good save because Klassen put a foot out to distract Kenny Allen from Close's shot. And the man who really set the move up yet again, this wonderful 35-year-old in midfield, Ozzy Ardiles. Close. Just watch here as Close shoots what Nico Klassen does. He sticks a foot out to try to divert the ball, and the goalkeeper did really well to get across. And this is Samways for Tottenham. That's Allen away on the right. The two front runners are there. Klassen! No. Good defending, actually. I think it was Lloyd that got in there. Loram picking up Dodson's flick. And Mabbott to Ardiles. Allen just expecting the ball to run there, and Kelly wasn't going to make that mistake. Here's Hazelgrave. Allen. Ardiles. Close. Free kick to Spurs. Loram on Thomas. Now this is Ardiles, just trying to open it up. Torquay have stuck resolutely to the task. Those three central defenders have blocked the alleys that Tottenham are trying to play through. But Ardiles, another supreme moment of skill to Mabbott. And here's Samways. And Klassen surely. Good save by Kenny Allen. Well, it was a 35-year-old that set that up, Ozzy Ardiles, and it was a 35-year-old that stopped it in Kenny Allen from Nico Klassen. Hodge. And it just won't go through that crowded penalty area, and when it did, there's a foul on the far side. Ardiles spoken to. Well, Klassen had the chance there, but how quickly the veteran Kenny Allen closed down the space to make that very good save. That kick from Allen has gone right through. And whenever that happens, you think about that moment 20 years ago when Pat Jennings scored against Alex Stepney. Well, Pat's here tonight, actually, watching the game, and might appreciate that Kenny Allen nearly did the same thing, although Ray Clement's a shade too wise to let it happen to him. Gary Stevens with the header out, only as far as Lorem, then against Fairclough. Dawkins. Torquay are making a genuine fight of this. And Tottenham can't relax. Oh, Impey. Tackling back there was close. And also Samways. And Klassen may get away here. There's only Close in the middle at the moment for him. And there he is! It's come back off the bar, I think. It was Sean Close who got the header in. Whether Kenny Allen got a touch as well, I'm not sure, but it seemed to hit the bar from Sean Close. It all happened so fast. I don't think the players realised quite what had occurred. Nico Klassen got away. Close came in, and I wonder if the keeper touched it. It certainly hit the bar. And so Torquay are still in it. Here's Hazelgrave. Oh, Clement's mistake, and Dawkins so close with the most experienced man on the field having problems with the slippery ball, and Dawkins nearly a hero again. Goodness me, there are about 7 of them in that crowd jumping. This is Dobson. Spurs are just over-elaborate in some ways, and at the same time being made to fight every inch of the way by a Torquay team who've risen to the occasion. This is Lee Sharp. Hazelgrave. And here's McNichol. Oh! Well, even Clement seems to have lost the place. Look at that throw. Cole. Fairclough's header out. Here comes Sharp. Chance here for Dobson. And away by Mabbott. We've got a cup tie on our hands. And Tottenham aren't enjoying it at all. Well, what an extraordinary 5 minutes. And Ray Clements, usually so immaculate, was in the thick of the action there in a quite unusual way. Well, Allen, now, free kick. Instruction quite blatant, and referee Stevens has gone to his notebook here. He's going to book Phil Lloyd, I think. Phil Lloyd in the book, and you'll see the yellow card in a second. A real air of uncertainty going around White Hart Lane at the moment. And Allen. And Klassen! Well, it may be all over now. The relief echoes round the ground. And Nico Klassen, who I think will claim the first goal tonight, certainly gets that one. And if he gets the 2, then that's 7 for the season for the top scorer. But they won't see him score one, which eases the tension more than that. 3-0 on the night. 3-1 on aggregate, and a substitution by Tottenham. Vincent Samways finding the pace now in the closing minutes of his second game in a few days. Goes off. and is replaced by Paul Moran, who himself is making his home debut here tonight. He's never played before in the first team at White Hart Lane. 19 years old, a wisp of a lad who plays on the wing. His nickname is Sparrow. But here's Dobson, and Torquay is still chirpy. Cole. Hasselgrave. Tottenham haven't been beaten here in the First Division since last January. 14 consecutive league wins at White Hart Lane. And in those circumstances, Torquay can feel that this has been a job decently done on behalf of the 4th Division. Even though we're now in stoppage time, and on the night they trail 3-0. This is Lee Sharp. Bear in mind they operate on about a 13 or 14-man squad, Torquay, and Spurs, although not all their talent is available tonight, have built their squad at a cost of something like £5 million. Lee Sharp against Paul Moran. Corner. Well, this would only be a consolation now for Torquay, but they do have a last chance, perhaps. Impey heads it on. McNichol. Spurs are through to the 3rd round of the Littlewoods Cup. Nico Klassen, who when he gets back to the dressing room will surely claim the first goal, and certainly got the 3rd. But it wasn't as easy as the score may suggest, and if the result goes to Tottenham, then much of the honour tonight goes to 4th Division Torquay, who in one particular spell in the second half threatened to make life embarrassing for their 1st Division hosts. Cyril Knowles will be proud of his team, but the final score here, Tottenham 3, Torquay 0, and on aggregate 3-1.
Clough, Steve Williams. Williams again, who's in tremendous form. Rocastle now on the far side for Arsenal. 1-1! An astonishing start to the derby, 2 goals in 4 minutes. And Rocastle makes it 1-1.
Well, what a superb pass it was by Williams. Brian, a really, well-timed, well-judged pass into the path of Rocastle. And again, the young man just took it forward there and placed it by the keeper. As you said, what an amazing start to this derby.
And Williams, who's been in tremendous form this season for Arsenal, he's been getting rave reviews wherever he's gone. And what a send-off then for the derby game. 1-1. And 2 typical pieces of finishing by the men concerned. Klassen, who's so quick, and Rocastle, who is so calculated.
Well, marvellous goals. I mean, it's... when I say marvellous goal, that second one was. The first one, of course, was a real opportunist goal by a striker, Brian.
Now Stevens for Tottenham. Now Sean Close. Almost got that through to Hodge. O'Leary was there. Rocastle, Smith. And a break by the fullback now. Thomas. And a brilliant goal by Michael Thomas. And Arsenal 2-1 into the lead.
Well, Arsenal catching Tottenham there on the break, Brian. And again, I thought Fairclough was playing everybody onside when the ball was played through to Thomas. Fairclough was playing him on, but he's just steamed through there and crashed it, almost identical actually to Rocastle's goal.
3 goals now in the opening 14 minutes. Just joined us. And the action has been so fast and furious, and with the 3 goals coming in, if you have just joined us, you've missed so much. Let me just remind you again that sadly we have no slow motion replays for you today. because of an industrial dispute. Groves. Free kick to Tottenham, which says a lot, doesn't it, for the calibre and the confidence of George Graham's side that they should go down so quickly and yet have recovered so completely within a quarter of an hour, Ian.
Well, it's a stunning recovery, and I mean, no one would have predicted that, because when Tottenham got that early goal, usually in instances like that, it's a real body blow, and you wouldn't think they would come back, but there you are, 2 cracking goals, and they're now 2-1 up.
Fairclough. Idealers. Challenged unfairly from behind, he thought, by Steve Williams. The referee suspected it as well, because he's gone to have a word with Williams, but no free kick. Adams up well, with a fall for Waddle. Arsenal are working so hard, so feverishly in fact, as Waller was deciding what to do. There were no fewer than 4 red and white shirts around him. The throw's gone the other way, presumably because our dealers didn't take it from the right spot. And our dealers still arguing the toss with referee Martin. And as they say, feelings running high. Goes Fairclough, head and shoulders above Smith then. In goes Davis, there was Fairclough again, now Sanson. Now he might get to Rocastle, and Perry Groves is in there, and Parks down to save. Adams. Side flag on this side. Free kick to Tottenham.
Under Graham Taylor, and they're brimming with confidence. Spurs, on the other hand, have to keep the fires burning before Terry Venables makes his entrance in a month's time. Well, our man at the match is Alan Parry.
It's certainly been an eventful few days for these Tottenham players who've been caught in the middle of the dramatic goings-on at White Hart Lane, and now they face a real test of character in the sort of cup tie Spurs could well have done without at this particular moment. Aston Villa are high on confidence after their unbeaten run. Graham Taylor has gradually been rebuilding the side since taking over as manager in the summer, though he has no fewer than 7 of his first-team squad out injured. The experienced Steve Hunt is Villa's latest casualty. His place in midfield goes to David Hunt, the former Notts County player. The defence has been Villa's strength so far, and Mark Walters is in outstanding form in attack. The Spurs side has been picked by coach Trevor Hartley, and they're without 3 England internationals, Ray Clements, Steve Hodge and Chris Waddle, but Johnny Metcalfe returns in midfield. There are happy memories for Clive Allen. On the opening day of the season in the league last year, he scored a hat-trick here and went on to score 49 goals, a club record. Tonight's referee is Ian Hendrick from Preston. So Aston Villa kick off in their famous claret and blue shirts, attacking from left to right. They're currently 4th in the second division. with the strange record of having won only 1 out of 8 games at home, but with 6 victories out of 8 away from home. And Spurs know they must calm it down in these opening exchanges when Villa are bound to come at them. Good ball by Stevens. Clive Allen turns. But Keown's clearance is a good one. And there's real danger here. And that was superb goalkeeping by Parks. McInally turning away quickly and is brought down. The real danger was from the run by Warren Aspinall just before that. And if Tony Parks hadn't have acted so quickly, then Tottenham could well have been in trouble in the opening minutes. Either Kevin Gage or David Hunt will hit this. It's Gage who strikes it, and the wall did its job. Well, there was no offside, and it's Aspinall, and it's a superb effort. Well saved by Tony Parks, and Spurs hesitated almost vaguely then, waiting for an offside flag that never came. 5 minutes gone, and Spurs could well have been a goal down on 2 occasions. This is Birch. Good ball from McInally. Aspinall's in the middle again. Walters. Oh, beautiful play. And he drove it against Stevens. He's always got the confidence to take defenders on, Mark Walters. And Walters earns the first corner of the match for Aston Villa. Oh, good header on, and it's there! McInally has given Aston Villa the lead. 8 minutes gone, and the Scot gets his first ever go as an Aston Villa player. He came for a lot of money in the summer from Celtic, and this is a moment he'll look back on for a long time with satisfaction in his career. It was a superb corner, flicked on beautifully at the near post by Keown, and McInally heading it fairly home. Paul Allen now for Spurs. Klassen takes on Gallagher again, and that was fine running by Paul Allen into the space. Hunt was there to cut out the cross. Diles trying to hold off Hunt. And gets it back again from Stevens. And finds Klassen, who finds Clive Allen. Klassen again. It was lovely football, but the deflection went Villa's way. That's a fine throw by Spink. Birch on the counter-attack. He's beaten Thomas. And he finds McInally, who finds Aspinall. Oh, Birch there again. And that would have been a spectacular goal if he could have made a decent contact. But I think really in that attack we saw the difference between these two sides. Tottenham played a lot of neat one-touch triangle football, if you like, involving a lot of players. Villa just got on with it very quickly and almost got a goal out of it. Graham Taylor really enjoyed surely Villa's first half performance, and his coach Steve Harrison next to him still spitting out the orders. Here's Gage for Villa. It's a good ball because Aspinall will keep chasing. But again, he's up against one of the smartest defenders in Mabbutt. McInally doing well, finding Gage. Gage's cross. Ooh, that was a terrible error! And how lucky Stevens was then not to concede an own goal. Played in hard and left-footed. And Stevens here could well have been the most embarrassed man on the field. Ardiles. Clive Allen. Ardiles again. Lillis making it difficult for him. He went full circle in the end. Keown's clearance was a lovely one to McInally. And still McInally. What a great challenge, though, by Thomas. Paul Allen now for Spurs. Two men in the centre. One of them is Ardiles. Came to Clive Allen. The shot kept in by Paul Allen, and Spink going down on the near post to save. Graham Taylor really leaning forward and getting into the atmosphere of this game as Villa attack again. The cross aimed towards Walters and McInally, and they both went up in spectacular fashion. Klassen coming deep to receive it. Lovely ball, McDodd to Stevens. Paul Allen thundering down the right in support. Ardiles in the middle. And still Ardiles. And it's a fine run by Ardiles, and he nearly went all the way, but there were just too many Villa bodies. Ardiles just kept on going, but ran into a forest of claret and blue. Ardiles. Nimble little feet and wonderful skills. Mabbott forward, finding Ardiles again. Fullback Thomas is forward in a left wing position. Here he is. Cross cut out by Gage. Ardiles. Birch challenging. Tottenham's throw. They're beginning to get more and more possession here. Clive Allen for Spurs now. Tried the little turn, which didn't come off, but he's kept it. Ardiles. And still Ardiles. Now Klassen. Thomas. Not a good cross. Sims clearance. But Mabbott is there again. Ooh, he's a wholehearted player. Mabbott, so is Sims. Thomas to Ardiles. Swarms of white Tottenham shirts around the Villa box now. Houghton. Testing moments in the game, these for Villa. Paul Allen. And the cross beaten away by Hunt for a corner. Great run here by Paul Allen. Stevens with the shot, and it was deflected, and it's gone in. And Ardiles is claiming it. And Tottenham are level again. Well, it's satisfaction for Stevens, because he very nearly ended the first half by conceding an own goal. He drove that there. Well, does Ozzy claim that was a shot or a deflection? Let's say it's his goal. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1, and Ozzy Ardiles, whether he meant it or not, gets his first goal of the season. Ardiles to Paul Allen. Samways. Stevens. Ardiles again. The heart of every best move Tottenham have had, and he finds Samways, and there has to be real danger here. Oh, he chose the wrong option. There were three players well placed, and Samways really did the wrong thing. He'll admit that himself, I'm sure. And as you can see here, Samways looked up, must have thought about crossing it, and then changed his mind for some reason. Walters clouting it forward. Thomas didn't see Birch behind him. Oh, but yes, he did well under pressure. Houghton for Spurs. 1-1 the score. McInally for Villa. 3 defenders, he'll have to go all alone. He tripped, Birch is there to help. Hunt finds Walters. And still Walters. Oh, a superb effort. Good goalkeeping too by Parks. Corner kick to Aston Villa. Oh, Keown got the header in again. Hunt is there, back into the box. And in the end, as Tottenham pushed forward, Aspinall's shot was hooked over. The real danger to Spurs there came from the initial run by Walters, who took on Stevens on the outside and beat him, drove it left-footed. Good save. Ardiles inevitably. Good ball to Mabbutt. Paul Allen went down, but no question of a foul. Walters really sprinting clear. Oh, Linford Christie would have been impressed with that. He's still going. And he's won a throw in, and he's run virtually the length of the pitch to do that. Sending plenty of men forward now. In fact, it's a corner. The ball deflecting for a Villa corner. Good header away by Samways. Gallagher picks it up again. Here's Birch. Still plenty in the middle for him. Lillis going up well and getting in. Oh, and it's in, yes! Aspinall got the vital touch. Lillis's shot was a beauty, and have between them these two forged the Villa winner, I wonder. Lillis, the number 4, a fine effort, parked it well to keep it out. Aspinall was there to slide it over the line. And Aston Villa go in front again. And that really shows terrific personality on their part, I think, because Tottenham had really dominated this second half. I tell you what, the tension of being a football manager has never been better displayed than by those pictures. Paul Allen for Tottenham. Moran. Ozzy there again. Only 3 minutes on the watch. Headed down for Clive Allen. The shot took a deflection and hit the crossbar. Whew. Clive Allen, so close. A couple of inches would have done it. Spink, superb. That's what you want with a couple of minutes to go when you're under pressure, a goalkeeper who can handle like that. But just before that, even he could do nothing as it deflected off Keown. And he watched it drop onto the bar. Ooh. And there's the final whistle. Tottenham's traumatic week continues, but Aston Villa celebrate a famous victory. And Graham Taylor, who came here in the summer from Watford, where of course he achieved miracles in a marvellous 10 years, has, with the help of fanatical support and a hard-working team, produced another Littlewoods Cup casualty from the First Division. Second Division Aston Villa win by 2-1. Aspinall getting the winning goal. Alan McInally the first. Even Ozzy Ardiles, who was probably the man of the match, with his goal for Tottenham, couldn't rescue things in the end. And the crowd go home very happy as Aston Villa go into the next round.
So, a superb result for Villa, and the atmosphere there, reminiscent of their heady days at the top not so long ago. But how does it affect manager Graham Taylor's attitude to the job he took over during the summer? It's been widely reported that he's unhappy in his relationship with the chairman, Doug Ellis. There's even been talk of his leaving Villa Park.
Well, that's not true. I haven't had any clashes with the chairman. What I have said is there are a number of things that have to be done at Villa Park, and you know as well as I do, Alan, there'll always be a lot of speculation, so I think I ought to put that right. I haven't had clashes with the chairman, and I expect to see... I've signed a 4-year contract, and I don't see any reason why I shouldn't see out that contract at Villa.
Graham and I get on very well. And as far as I'm concerned, I make it clear, I've killed the myth many times, I'll kill it again. Graham Taylor has complete control of everything to do with the playing business of Aston Villa. I look after the finances. That's my job, and he accepts that.
So an air of contentment at Villa Park. But what of Spurs? Shell-shocked after the departure of David Pleat. Well, Chairman Irving Scholar has got the man he wanted, Terry Venables.
Terry Venables, I think, is an exceptional manager. I don't really think he's had the real credit that he deserves for the achievements at Barcelona. If you analyse what he did there, it's quite an outstanding achievement. He's the longest-serving manager at Barcelona since the war, and the first manager to lift the championship there for 12 years. He got them to the European Cup final. His outstanding achievements there are magnificent. We hope a little bit of that will rub off on us. I think the Juventus obviously were very keen on him. I think they've been looking at Terry and considering his position at Barcelona for some time. I think it's a great coup, actually, for English football that Terry's coming back. In financial terms, obviously, if he was to go to Italy as manager of Juventus, he would be able to earn perhaps 3-4 times as much as he would do coming back to England. I'm delighted, obviously, he's coming back to England. And I think, as I say, it's a boost rather than at this time with so many players moving abroad. Ian Rush, Mark Hughes, Gary Lineker, etc. It's nice, I think, to turn the tide.
How do you think he's going to manage?
But Terry Venables won't be feeling too happy as he relaxes in Florida this evening. Well, later, we're off to Plough Lane for another all-First Division tie between Wimbledon and Newcastle. But right now, it's time to catch up with the rest of the night's news.
Into the second half now, one of Spurs' few moves of the game. Waddle's lovely reverse pass sends Nico Klaassen away down the right. The Belgian international picks out Gary Stevens. But the lack of confidence throughout the Spurs side is typified by Stevens' miscue. Even better chances were falling Charlton's way, and from this corner, Andy Jones really ought to have scored. The miss wasn't to prove costly, though, because just 4 minutes later came Charlton's controversial winner. Chris Fairclough left his back pass short. Park still got there first, but Williams challenged the keeper and David Campbell followed up to score. So legal challenge or not? Well, referee Ray Lewis and his linesman decided it was fair. But I must say it's difficult not to sympathise with the goalkeeper, who lost teeth and had his mouth cut quite severely. Terry Venables certainly wasn't happy either.
No, I wasn't very happy at all about it, no. I mean, we've got a situation where referees do protect goalkeepers, even to the extent for a corner or something, you've only got to impede a goalkeeper and it's a foul. We have a situation here where it wasn't a good back pass. The boy's entitled to challenge, but the goalkeeper's got there first. He's collected the ball, and then he's then been hit in the face with the boot, and then he's let the ball go.
His face is a mess.
It is a bit, yeah. He's broke his teeth, and it's not too bad in actual fact. But nevertheless, if you're not stopping that, you're encouraging it. You can't encourage people to kick goalkeepers.
What about the overall performance, though, Terry?
No, it wasn't a good game. We didn't play well. We never looked like anyone was in any trouble at the back before Gary Mabbott left the back to try and put a bit of pressure on. But we know we've still got a long way to go. We know that.
You played the top of the First Division. You played the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think we were entitled to lose the game today. I mean, as I said, until we lost the goal and we pushed people up, we were never in it. It didn't look like many chances either end, actually. It was just a scrappy game where both sides were working very hard to get what they could out of the game.
But you see a little bit of hope on the horizon.
Well, not too bad. We've got a lot to do, and obviously we can't expect to change it around straight away, but we will. But it doesn't help the cause when you're like losing points like that. But then again, I wouldn't blame the team for that. I blame the referee's decision for that. Without actually, I don't normally like to keep on about referee's decision. But when it's something like that, and a boy's been hurt and a goalkeeper, you know yourself being a goalkeeper, you're entitled to some sort of protection.
Well, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. What do you think about that decision, Trevor?
Well, I mean, the forward had to go forward, but I think he did get there fractionally after the goalkeeper. A certain sympathy with Terry, because in those circumstances, you know, you always get those sort of results go against you. But I mean, I think it was the wrong decision, actually. I think perhaps he should have disallowed it, yeah.
Right, thank you very much for that. Well, we've been talking about this bit of magic this afternoon. One of the things that people go to watch football for these days, and in the old days really, I think, was to see...
Right. Redhead, really, I suppose. There he is, but he didn't quite get the header in that time. Blades playing it in, and Gregory hits it into the roof of the net, and Derby are ahead. Delighted John Gregory getting his 5th of the season. Ian St John.
Well, as I was saying, you know, Tottenham just cannot handle crosses today. And again, from the corner kick, nodded back in again. Good header by Cross. And when the ball fell down, bang, there was Gregory. And I think maybe you could look at the goalkeeper and say, you know, he may have got a punch to that, knocked it away rather than just pop it down. So he just popped it down there. Gregory on the spot.
So Derby pinned back just for a moment. The ball with Waddle, now with Ardiles. And it's in there for Klassen. Well, the header came from Moran, and it was Klassen who helped it over the line. And between them, Spurs are back on level terms.
I think they'll look at the corner kick and say it should never have been given away, but there you are. It may even have gone... No, it wasn't going in. I thought it was possibly in before Klassen's got there.
And a play in the last minutes. Ardiles, a little stumble, but here he comes again. That inimitable floating run of his, and then a ball, and look how wide open Derby might be caught here by the pace of Moran. It's a great chance here now for Clive Allen, and Derby are behind after having so much of the game. Clive Allen, after a tremendous break by Moran, and a lovely ball played to him by Ozzy Ardiles.
But where were Derby County? I mean, they were all up in the attack. I couldn't believe it. There was only one man left in the centre circle, and Spurs just ganged up on them. It was a great ball by Ardiles. And this kid has been fantastic since he came on. I mean, he's tremendous pace, and it was a lovely little layoff. And there's Clive getting the goal he's so badly needed.
Well, Southampton are seeking to end a run of 4 matches without a win, but today their strike force is depleted. Top scorer Danny Wallace is missing with a groin strain, and Colin Clark does play, but he damaged a knee in training 48 hours ago. Gordon Hobson comes in for his first game for 3 months in place of Wallace. Happily for manager Chris Nicholl, his team is operating well defensively, despite selling internationals Mark Wright and Peter Shilton. Much of that is down to another veteran goalkeeper, to John Burridge, who's taken over from Shilton. The 36-year-old Burridge had 2 very successful spells under Terry Venables with Crystal Palace and Queen's Park Rangers. Tony Parks is Venables' current first choice, though he'll be on his toes with Ray Clements close to fitness again, and a new rival now, Peter Guthrie, signed earlier this week from non-league Weymouth. Mabbott, Klaassen and Paul Allen are all on the Tottenham casualty list, so Gary Stevens will operate in the centre of defence, Chris Waddle in support of Clive Allen in attack, and in from the start today, Paul Moran, who as a second-half substitute set up both goals which brought Tottenham victory at Derby in their last match. The referee is David Hutchinson from Abingdon, who needs to officiate on only 6 more of the 92 league grounds to complete the set. But at 47, it is his last season on the list. Tottenham get the game underway at the start of a hectic holiday period. 4 big football dates over the next 8 days. It's also the second half of the season, with each of these 2 clubs having played 20 of the now 40 match programme. A grey December the 26th with rain falling in the Southampton area up to the kick-off time. Hobson had a look to see where Fairclough was. And Stevens takes it away from Parks. Maybe a breakdown in communication then. Because if Parks would have called with any real authority, it was his ball. As it is, Tottenham still under a little bit of pressure. Cockerell. Ardiles was there, and again. In from Case. Clark was offside. Nevertheless, it was a sharp piece of defending by Chris Hughton, who couldn't have been sure of the offside decision. The early ball from Case. Clark in front of Hughton there. The flag was up, but Hughton gave Clark no chance to shoot in any case. Forrest. And the ball skill was much better than the pass, and it needed Statham to cover. And he just got the better of the bounce with Moran. Townsend. Hobson was pulled down from behind by Fairclough. And a chance now for Southampton to make some progress from the free kick, which they work short between Townsend here and Baker. Bond. Cockerell allowed to turn by Ardiles, but he couldn't get past him. Forrest quickly up in support. Cockerell again. Clark and Hobson in the middle. And again, the corner decision goes against Tottenham. 20 minutes to go in the first half. And we're really still looking for a meaningful strike at goal. That's more! We've got it now! And Tottenham will have an inquest. A very close-range header indeed from Townsend's corner by the soaring Kevin Moore. Well, it's the problem really for Tony Parks, who's an excellent shot stopper of a goalkeeper, but surely that has to be in his area to come and meet the corner. So Tottenham are behind, their travelling support disappointed. And Bond conceding a free kick, which might give Terry Venable's men an opportunity to strike back. Now, will it be a blast from Waddle? No, it's a little clip forward that finds Moran offside. Well, Tony Parks had a marvellous game at Derby last week in every respect except the nature of the Derby goal, where he was caught out coming for a high ball and just patted it down to John Gregory, who scored. I'm sure he'll be disappointed at the nature of the first goal of this game. Clark, the player, fouled. And they've yelled at Kevin Moore to go forward again. Clipped in by Statham. Oh, and that was a sweet volley from Cockerell, who came in on the blind side of the Tottenham defenders. And did very well to come that close. But the way Parks is, had it been on target, he'd have probably saved it. Cockerell looking for Clark, who took it beautifully. That's a wonderful goal. The player whose fitness was in doubt until this morning looked 100% then. Southampton have fired now with both barrels. One touch on the chest, a second touch on the volley, and it flew past Parks. Coming up to the half-an-hour mark, and the complexion of the game has changed so dramatically. It's Southampton 2, it could be 3, it's Clark again. It should have been 3. And that's the way it is with strikers. A very difficult chance, superbly taken. One when Ardiles made a wayward touch. Clark now setting the sights, but it went outside the goal. Ardiles on from Clive Allen, but to no real purpose. Jerry Forrest covering, with Kevin Moore still on his way back, having gone up for the initial free kick. Clark, here's Hobson. Well, twice Southampton have found themselves in that position. First of all with Clark just after his goal, and now with Gordon Hobson. And on both occasions, the shots directed outside the goal when a real opening was there. Waddle. Tottenham really have just got to roll up their sleeves and battle now. And Hodge is there at the far post. Allen is there. And Ardiles, Southampton regrouping now. But Thomas round the back. Poured out by Burridge, collected by Waddle. Samways. And Thomas, who ventured forward, was on his way back as Samways looked towards him. But Burridge really, for the first time, was in difficulties, and Tottenham couldn't build from that position. Thomas trying to do just that here. Waddle, Hodge has got inside Forrest, and Tottenham get a corner. A goal back before half-time would not come amiss. Fairclough up at the near post area. That came off Clark and fell well for Southampton and Glenn Cockrell. Moran racing back, and he can run, but so too can Cockrell. For Hobson onside. Gordon Hobson did everything but put it in the net. That it came from a Tottenham corner. It was a sweeping break by Southampton. The architect was Cockrell, and then Hobson's choice here was to go round the goalkeeper, but with defenders on the line, he sliced the shot. And that was an agonising moment for a striker trying to re-establish himself in the First Division. Time is approaching, but Southampton maybe not finished yet. Hobson! Well, he could have had a hat-trick after the 2 goals that Southampton have already scored. Tottenham's defending will surely cause some discussion in the dressing room at half-time. Clark whipped it in. It was an inviting cross, but the invitation was rejected by Hobson. As he was nudged, it must be said. Another look at the watch from David Hutchinson. It is half-time, and Southampton, after a somewhat tentative start, go off leading by 2-0. Kevin Moore with the first, which came from a corner from very close range, but from much further out, and with venomous power, Colin Clark's second, and from then on, Southampton have been very much in control. It really, at half-time, could have been more than 2. Southampton get the second half underway. It's been a poor ground this for Tottenham in recent seasons. In their previous 4 league visits, they've lost each time. They've not scored a goal in any of those 4 games. And Chris Nicholl, the Southampton manager, will be very happy if that run continues. Waddle away from 2. He was looking for Clive Allen, and in fact so too was John Burridge. Allen put the brakes on, and Waddle, who has a lovely touch in his passing as well as his dribbling, couldn't come up with the goods then when Clive Allen was free to his left. At Tottenham, what a difference it would make if they could start this second half with a goal. And the reason maybe that Allen pulled up wasn't totally down to Waddle's attempted pass. It's maybe a stomach muscle. It's the area that John Sheridan is treating, and Alan Harris peering out, the assistant manager. Forrest, Cockrell, and Hodge obviously came in after the ball had been crossed. Mitchell Thomas trying to soothe the atmosphere. Now, Steve Hodge, of all people, won't want to get into more disciplinary trouble here. David Hutchinson spotted the infringement and played pull back for the Southampton free kick. Kevin Moore and Kevin Bond, the duo for Southampton at the far post. Well, Terry Venables must be wondering if he's run over a black cat or something with the problems that he's taken aboard at Tottenham, injury-wise. The manager now down on the touchline, having watched from the stand for the first half. And he's made a substitution with David Howells coming on for Clive Allen. Parks was decisive and found a good touch. It was nearly 2 years ago now when David Howells first played in the First Division, and he scored at Sheffield Wednesday on his debut. His opportunities have been restricted since then. But in this injury crisis for Tottenham, all hands on duty, even the younger ones. Howells, by the way, is 20, just. Certainly Terry Venables has taken over a club where they've educated their young players well in the passing side of the game. And indeed, the supporters at Tottenham set high standards on that score as well. But here's Statham. with a probing run. Derek Statham, he's got it back from Hobson. Well, for years, Derek Statham has laboured really in the shadow of Kenny Sansom. As youth players, they were side by side in their development. And Statham's been unfortunate, not just with injuries, but with Sansom as well. But that shows his quality. A super break, even if the shot was mishit. It's the second substitution for Tottenham, and it's a league debut for Brian Statham, who's replaced Vinnie Samways. Stopped fairly by Statham, who won his spurs there. The linesman is flagging. Well, he could hardly have picked a tougher situation, Brian Statham, for his first division tackle on Jimmy Case. Clark. Hobson, is it a goal this time? It's a corner instead. He gets closer and closer. It was well constructed between the two strikers. And an excellent save by Parks. And a good catch by Parks, who perhaps should be encouraged to do that a little bit more often. And he's used the ball well too. Took 3 to stop Waddle, but stop him they did. He's always got that weary look, hasn't he? But I can assure you, he is one of the fittest around. And it may be time for Chris Nicholl to look to pep up his side's performance, which has been a little bit cautious since that 2-goal volley and the succession of missed chances that followed at the end of the first half. So it's going to be Rodney Wallace. Andy Townsend is the player to be replaced. So we'll see what Wallace Mark II is made of. And remember that there is a Wallace Mark III, Rodney's twin brother Raymond, who is also a player here at the Dell. Now Southampton have another player down. It's Hobson. And the stops and starts for injuries didn't help the flow of the second half. Here's Howells. And Southampton are playing something of a dangerous game here. Well, Tottenham have already taken the throw. And one of their principal strikers is not really equipped for the job at the moment. Properly shod now. Tottenham pressing. They've certainly shown character to admire in the second half. Fairclough! 2-1. No nonsense about celebrating. Back and on with the job. Waddle curved it over Burridge, and Fairclough just got in front of Cockerell. A very brave header. So it was a goal from one number 5 that stimulated Southampton. One from the other now. Can it lift Tottenham to a genuine recovery? The goal came with 14 minutes remaining. and it's breathed new vigour into the contest. Statham. Clark. Chris Nicol not best pleased. Here's Moran. Now has he caught Southampton here? Howells and Ardiles in the middle. Waddle. Now Moran. And Cockrell happy to just get it out, and Southampton will really be kicking themselves if Tottenham can get a share of this. All the breaks really have gone Southampton's way. They've had so many opportunities, particularly in the latter stages of the first half, to add to that two-goal lead. Moran. Howells beaten to it. Stevens for Waddle. Tottenham really filling the middle. It's Ardiles, who threw a hand as well as himself at the ball. So too did Burridge, and it was a fine instinctive save. But it had been spotted. There was the hand, not the head. But the second hand was a very athletically used one by John Burridge. Now I just wonder whether he learnt that from his old pal Diego Maradona. Wallace. He fell at the first. Baker and Statham reluctant to chase it at this stage of the game. But he didn't need to, because it's going to be a Southampton free kick. Well, they feel, I think, that they should be in the dressing room celebrating the win. It seemed a very long second half from the Southampton perspective. Howells. Oh dear, that was an unnecessary and unforced error. Clark. Hobson. And well done, Parks. It was an outfielder's tackle. And Gordon Hobson, I think, will want this match to end. Houghton. Hodge. And it's just too long for those in blue behind him. 2 minutes of stoppage time played. And Southampton start this intense holiday programme with a 3-point haul. Goals from Colin Clark the second after Kevin Moore had headed in the first. But a real scare at the last with Chris Fairclough pulling one back. The Chris Nicol side have a purposeful beginning to the second half of their season. As for Terry Venables, 3 defeats now in his 4 games in charge. But I'm sure things will improve when he gets all his first teamers fit. The Colts did well here at the Dell for him in the second half. But it finishes Southampton 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
So another defeat for Tottenham. They could have lost by more, in all honesty. And they now drop to 9 from the bottom of the First Division of the Barclays League.
Now to White Hart Lane for the London derby between Spurs and West Ham. Normally teams graced with style and confidence, but a trifle short of it this season. Your commentator, Tony Gubber.
Tottenham are still waiting for their first home goal under the new managership of Terry Venables. The 2 previous matches here at White Hart Lane ended in defeat 2-0 and 1-0, and with injury forcing them to leave out Clive Allen and this season's top scorer Nico Klassen, Tottenham are fielding a team today who've scored only 7 goals between them all season. There's still no Ray Clements or Gary Mabbott, but it's a big day for 19-year-old Paul Moran, who's making his first league appearance here at White Hart Lane. West Ham, who lost both games here last season by an aggregate of 9-0, have similar injury problems, and they've turned once again to the veteran Billy Bonds, now aged 41 years, 3 months and 11 days, a man who began his league career before Moran and 2 of his own teammates were even born. Referee today, Mr. John Martin from Hampshire. And it's Spurs who kick off, attacking the goal to the left, having won only 1 of the last 12 matches and having slumped from 2nd in the First Division behind Liverpool down to 13th. But this, a traditional Christmas holiday fixture in which they score goals. Gary Stevens. Early touch of the ball for Tony Parks, having an extended run in place of the injured Ray Clements. Terrific support on this bank holiday morning, and here's young Moran, a good ball inside to Hodge. Oh, he's missed the target. The first touch in league football for the youngster who's only 19, and it was a perfect pass to set up Hodge, who surely should have hit the target, and Tottenham have wasted the first opportunity. Well, Terry Venables there in the middle with Alan Harris, his number 2, to his left as we look. Must be full of dismay. Goals have certainly been hard to come by, and you can't afford to waste chances like that. Fairclough. Delis. Now, Moran, faced by Hilton. Good tackle back by Ray Stewart. John Martin sees it as an offence. West Ham's captain intercepting from behind to dispossess Moran, and Tottenham have yet another free kick, but this time in a much more interesting position, right on the edge of the penalty area. And surely an opportunity here for someone of the likes of Waddle to test McAllister in goal. Ardiles is with him. Little discussion between the 2 Tottenham players. You or me, and there's plenty of white shirts forward, but surely he'll test the keeper. Ardiles steps over it. Waddle! Oh, yes! That's the way to do it! Waddle's 2nd goal of the season, and his first since way back in August. 1-0 Tottenham, and it's no more than they've deserved. And that's the first goal that Venables and Harris have seen Tottenham score here at White Hart Lane, and they've had to wait a long time for it. Oh, nicely inside for Keane. Can West Ham reply early? Over the bar by Brian Statham. Well, suddenly this Christmas holiday fixture has come to life in the way that we expected. Brady, again. Around Howells. Cotty! Struck it well, but pulled it into the post. Well, certainly West Ham would like to reply as quickly as possible. No doubt remembering that when Spurs visited Upton Park in September, Spurs won 1-0 with that goal that day by Fairclough. And interestingly enough, at that occasion, Spurs were 2nd in Division 1. And that's the half-time whistle. The first half, frankly, it was a little disappointing, and which didn't really only begin to fizz until Chris Waddle had put in that free kick after 31 minutes. And at half-time, it's Tottenham 1, West Ham 0. Nice to see some fresh young faces among the holiday crowd, and of course it's an extra special treat if your team goes on to win the match. So West Ham start the second half, and they'll certainly be conscious that they'll have to play a lot better in the second 45 minutes if they're to resurrect something from this bank holiday fixture. Haven't won here at White Hart Lane in the league for 4 seasons, West Ham. There's just 1 or 2 of the injured players for Tottenham. Klassen and Method, Mabbutt and Clive Allen just biting his nails. Statham, good deep ball to find Moran. And the referee sees that as a foul by Robson and wants a word of the West Ham right back. He's certainly putting himself about. 6 forward in a group for Spurs. Fairclough. That's a corner. Stewart who got there first. Graham Waddle places the ball carefully. Flicked on. Oh, Fairclough off the bar. Still isn't clear. Well, how did West Ham survive? Chris Fairclough, who got the goal against them at West Ham back in September, hits the bar, and then the final effort just too high. Once again, a Tottenham ball. In fact, John Martin has decided Hilton's challenge in the back on Moran was a foul. And so a free kick. It's a similar position from the one that led to Waddle's goal, a little bit further out. Oh, hit the post! It was Howells. David Howells, the header, that hit the foot of the post. And that's twice in the space of a minute that West Ham have found the woodwork rattled. First by Fairclough, then by Howells. That doesn't reach the halfway line. Waddle. Hodges made a run. And that'll be West Ham's throw. Tries to steal a few yards. Stuart Robson. Bonds. And this is Brady. Harried by Moran. Keane. Statham clears it the second time. Waddle with a bit of space to come forward. Well, that's the result of Waddle really holding the ball too long, because there were options on for him. Now Bonds for West Ham. Hilton. Dispossessed by Mitchell Thomas. Martinez. Keane. Moran. Waddle. Back to Moran. Ray Stewart ahead of him. Gets around him. Oh! Warm applause for Paul Moran. A fine run. Beat Ray Stewart with George Paris there as well. The left foot shot from outside the area. Curling just a little bit too high of that far right angle. Still in play. Hints. And this looks like the first yellow card. And Tottenham players don't like the signs here with Mr. John Martin reaching for his back pocket, because there have certainly been one or two, let's say, clumsy challenges. And Brian Statham, who's only 19, wouldn't want to mark his second appearance in the Tottenham first team with a caution. But that's what he gets, and maybe that's the result of the referee deciding it was time to stamp his foot down a little harder. But maybe he could have done it after an earlier incident. Brady. Looking for Robson. Hilton's forward, this is Robson. And away with Mitchell Thomas, West Ham's throw. And the West Ham support at that end of the ground, feeling they now have something to shout about. Hilton! Cotti! Hilton! It's 1-1! Paul Hilton! And look at the celebration! Paul Hilton's first goal of the season. And he has to thank Tony Cotti, doesn't he? Hilton got the first header from the corner. Cotti cut it back, and it was there hanging, inviting for Hilton. And it's one apiece. Moran for Tottenham, Allen. And now just listen to the West Ham voices. Robson. But that's certainly keeping the feet warm. Forced to check by Brady. Now Waddle, a long way out. That was deflected. And that'll be a corner. And McAllister was quite right to stay on his line with that fierce wind blowing into his face. And watch that ball all the time. Deflection came off Stewart. Tottenham with a corner. Fairclough's at the near post. Mitchell Thomas at the far post. Taken by Waddle. Waddle kept it in play. Yes! Fairclough! He does it again! Beautifully found by Waddle. But where had the defenders gone? Tottenham's reply was immediate. Chris Fairclough, whose goal beat West Ham at Upton Park in September, puts Tottenham back in front 2-1. Well, he stood on the near post for the first corner by Waddle, and when the ball went back out to Waddle, he stayed there, but the marker seemed to move away, and Waddle was unmarked. There was Fairclough. An easy goal. And young Paul Moran's league debut comes to an end with a standing ovation for the 19-year-old, who's had a marvellous match, replaced now by Sean Close, who is 21. Ward. To Ince again. Can he get in a shot? Well, he beat Parks as the keeper came off his line, but couldn't quite keep his balance and make second contact. And at this point, West Ham decide that maybe discretion calls for the pulling off of Mark Ward, who's just been booked and who certainly appeared to speak towards John Lyall in the dugout there in a manner which didn't look too friendly. He's gone straight to the dressing room. And West Ham have sent on Gary Stroder, number 14. And Gary Stroder cost £100,000 when he came from Lincoln City in March this year. Terry Venables already on his feet, and there's the fire whistle. Little salute from Terry Venables. Has seen his Tottenham team finally score a goal at White Hart Lane. and win their second match under his management. Fairclough got the winning goal, having beaten West Ham at Upton Park in September. A fixture which Tottenham traditionally win, but by a narrower scoreline this year than in the past. The final score is Tottenham 2, West Ham 1.
Side. Joe McLaughlin facing the camera there. Number 4 is Steve Clark. Wilson drills it across. Dixon with the header. And Jury on the line. Just couldn't squeeze it in. Good defensive play there from Fairclough. Clive Wilson. Boxed in there by the defenders. Moran now breaking for Spurs East. Oh, he's shot a little early there. Maybe he ran out of steam. Seemed a little sluggish. 31 minutes gone there, and really that is the first chance that Spurs have had. Wilson again. Oh, nice one in for Dixon. Dixon turned it nicely back to Hazard. Hazard tries a shot. Oh, and that had Parks in real trouble. Mickey Hazard tried to bend it in. Beautiful shot, really. Benick. Clark with the header. No changes to either side. McAllister giving chase. And his perseverance has paid off as well. Lovely play there by the little Scot, and a beautiful ball in, and there's a fine shot on the volley from Kerry Dixon. Dixon got on the end of it. Oh, he's hit a post! A fine glancing header from the number 9 there. A beautiful little chip from Hazard. But it's the space that this man made for himself. He held off, timed his run brilliantly. Hazard saw the space, chipped it in. Dixon comes in, gets to it first, and really bad luck there. A post denying him the goal he deserves. Long ball by
Despite the midwinter gloom, there were a few memories of May around the pitch. First from Coventry, Mickey Ginn somehow managing not to score. But if the Wembley theme was to continue, it needed a goal from Clive Allen. And so it happened, this time just an untidy toe poke. Allen standing offside for so long, the linesman must have thought he was a defender. Into the second half, though, and justice was done with a Coventry equaliser. Ginn once again causing the Spurs defence acute embarrassment before an unmarked Regis bounced the ball wide of Parks. It was the signal for both sides to lift their game. It never quite reached cup final heights, but Paul Allen's run and cousin Clive's finishing would have been quite welcome back in May. Yet Coventry once again proved they're a dangerous team when they're behind. Phillips' dancing run down the line, setting up Bennett for their second. This time, though, there was no extra time to separate them.
A teasing ball in there, came off the head of Tony Fenwick, and is still not cleared. Mamet went in there, acrobatic Smith with a shot, oh, and he scored! Alan Smith has scored! 1 minute, 38 seconds, and what a great goal that was! Adams. So went a bit higher than he expected, I think. Oh, well won by Groves. Smith through to Groves. Groves is through. Oh, and he's missed his shot completely. Oh, a marvellous ball from Smith. Perry Groves was clean through. Richardson won it well. Rocastle. Groves has spun off inside. There's the ball for Groves. Groves gets the shot in. Oh, and just past the right-hand post. A fine effort from Perry Groves. Richardson, a great ball through to Groves. And what a fine run by Groves, and a finely judged pass as well. Groves coming in onto the box. Rolls it in for Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas with a shot. Oh, and he's wide. Smith. Gus Caesar beaten by Walsh. Walsh turns it inside to Clive Allen, and there's... Oh, what a marvellous shot! Clive Allen rattles the back of the net. 53 minutes gone. One out of the blue, that. It really was. Clive Allen notches his 11th goal of the season, his 11th league goal, that is, at full marks to the man who's caused most trouble to Arsenal so far. Hayes coming through there with a reply. And Mims turns it over for a corner. It's all happening here. Sanson's throw. Smith's there. Groves. Oh, what a great goal by Groves! A marvellous goal from Perry Groves. 75 minutes gone. And Perry Groves shoots Arsenal back into the lead. It's his 6th goal of the season, and what a cracker! Mitchell Thomas. Oh, and Hayes has latched onto that back pass. Gets the shot in into the side netting. What bad luck there. Brilliantly read by Martin Hayes. Winterburn again, driving forward. Groves is on the right. Smith to his left. Finds Smith. Smith kills the ball, gets the shot in. Oh, and a good save by Bobby Mims. A fine shot from Alan Smith.
We're battered out, I think. The championship now was a formality. It was settled against Tottenham at Anfield. ITV's cameras capturing an impudent goal by Beardsley, which said much about his contribution to Liverpool's season. It confirmed Liverpool's 17th championship, their 9th in 13 seasons. They lost only 2 matches in their entire First Division programme. That too equalled a modern record, set by Leeds in 1969. Liverpool themselves cared little about the statistics or the comparisons. They had brought their supporters more success, and with it, a harvest of entertainment and fun. Even the manager got excited at times, as his team produced a quality of football that previous Liverpool sides would have found hard to match. even the 1979 team in which Dalglish played. The 1988 vintage packed stadiums week in, week out, and furthered the close rapport between the mighty Reds and their followers.